A farmer's son from Anglesey, I came to Llanberis in 1964 as the minister for the Presbyterian churches of Gorffwysfa and Preswylfa. I came to Llanber with a T. Rowland Hughes idea of the village, a street full of quarrymen going to and from their work. But it was not at all like this. By then, only a small percentage of the villagers worked in the quarry. Some of them were my parishioners. Quite a few of these parishioners suffered from the effect of quarry dust. Some were able to socialise in the village, and others were unable to leave their homes. Amongst the numerous widows, there were many who had lost their husbands because of the dust. This was a proud community, and losing work meant more than just losing their livelihood. It meant losing respect. The suddenness of the closure in 1969 was a great shock to the community, as it came to realise that Llanberis was to be without the quarry that had sustained them for so long. Although the fact that the quarry closed was not in itself such a shock, as it had been winding down for years. Ysgol Bryn Refael had opened a new door for the youngsters of the area, and their parents did not want to see them going to the quarry and its dust. Also, there were better wages and cleaner work to be had. A protest meeting was held in the village, attended by many, and even though that meeting protested against the closure, there were mixed feelings. To those suffering from the effects of the dust, the closure was to be welcomed. But those who were to be left without work were greatly shaken. It was not as bad for those about to retire, nor was it as bad for the younger generation who had hope of other work. But the middle-aged were the worst affected. Where would they find work at their age? The closure had more of an effect on families than the community as a whole. The closure did not have an obvious effect on the chapels and churches, but there was a change in the way funerals were held. The usual pattern was to hold a service in the house, followed by a service in the cemetery. In the house, there would be an opportunity to follow the custom of donating money towards the funeral. By the 70s, this custom had disappeared, with more and more going straight from the house to the chapel or church before going to the cemetery. Tourism became more prominent with the opening of licensed restaurants and guest houses. Climbers began taking over the quarrymen's houses, and the predominantly Welsh-speaking community gradually became more anglicised. It is true that after the closure of the quarry, new elements were introduced to the community, but even so, many of the old traditions remained.